Little Red Riding Hood, a free version of the Brothers Grimm tale. Once upon a time, there was a little girl who lived in a village near the forest. Since she always wore a red velvet cloak with a hood, people called her Little Red Riding Hood. One afternoon, she put on her cloak, took a lunch basket and left to visit her grandmother, who lived on the other side of the forest. There among the trees lived a fierce wolf. That day he was fiercer and hungrier than ever, because he had not been able to eat a single little animal. "Doesn't anyone feel sorry for a poor hungry wolf?" he cried. "Nobody wants to fill my belly." Meanwhile, the little girl felt happy, because it was the first time she was allowed to go on her own to her grandmother's house. "Nothing bad will happen to me," she thought. "I'm old enough to take care of myself." Suddenly, she saw the wolf behind a tree. "Mom!" she screamed. "Don't be afraid, pretty little girl," said the wolf. "I saw that you were alone, and I thought it would be nice to eat you, to meet you." "My mum told me not to talk to strangers," Little Red Riding Hood answered. "How come? Don't you know who I am?" the wolf asked. "Of course I do," said Little Red Riding Hood. "You are the fierce wolf who lives in the forest." "You see," said the cunning wolf, "I'm not a stranger, because you know who I am. If I were a platypus, then I would be a stranger, because you don't know what a platypus is." The wolf approached her, saying, "And I know who you are. You are Little Red Riding Hood, and you are going to your grandmother's house." While he was talking, the wolf became hungrier and hungrier. He became so hungry that he felt like eating the little girl and her grandmother in a single bite. Suddenly, the wolf heard rifle shots and dogs barking. "Oh, hunters!" thought the wolf, while shaking with fear. He didn't know any safe place to hide from the dogs, except for the grandmother's house. "I have to go," he said, and ran away. Soon the wolf got to the grandmother's house. "Little Red Riding Hood, is that you?" asked the old woman. When she opened the door, and before she could do anything, the wolf ate her up in one bite. "There," he complained. "Oh, she did not sit well with my stomach. Oh." And it was true. The wolf could hardly walk. The grandmother kept kicking inside his belly, which was so heavy that it dragged along the floor. But as he was such a glutton, he also wanted to eat Little Red Riding Hood. To catch her, he thought, I'll have to trick this girl. So he put on one of the grandmother's nightgowns, her nightcap, her glasses, and then jumped into her bed. "Grandma, where are you?" Little Red Riding Hood called out from outside. "Here, my dear," answered the wolf, imitating the old woman's voice. As the girl went in, she said, "It smells like a dirty dog in here." The wolf felt offended. He, a dirty dog? But he had had his bath only a year before. "I can't hear you, dear," he lied. "Come closer to your granny, who is a bit sick." Little Red Riding Hood approached a bit closer, looking at the bed suspiciously. "How come you can't hear me with those big ears you have? When did they grow so big?" "Are you here to criticize me?" continued the wolf, getting angrier. "Say hello to your granny!" But then the girl noticed something even stranger. "I'm sorry, Grandma," she said. "I don't want to criticize you, but why do you have a beard?" "This is nonsense," continued the wolf. "First I smell bad, then I'm dirty, I have big ears, a beard. What else are you going to criticize? My teeth?" "Well," the little girl said, "now that you mention it, I see that you have big, ugly teeth." The wolf lost his patience and tried to get out of bed. But then the grandmother started tickling him inside of his stomach. "They are all the better to eat you with." He rolled around on the floor, roaring with laughter. So strong was his laughter that the old woman managed to leave his tummy. The wolf was still laughing when the grandmother and Little Red Riding Hood kicked him out of the house with brooms. "Ever since then," he tells everyone while taking a big bite out of his carrot, "I've become a vegetarian."